crowded mind crowds out public life. When your mental bandwidth is maxed out managing visible household, there's less space for you to develop yourself, build that capacity to be seen in either your leadership progression in the public life. If that resonates with you today, we are talking everything about women's representation in public life. What helps? And looking at some statistics.
Yeah, I've got some stats and facts for everyone.
And to talk about it, it's Rachel. Rachel is the play facilitator and has been with us. This is the 6th episode. Help us, Rachel, break this down. What does the research or the statistics tells us about that representation of women in public life?
Well, there's some good news, Betty, and then there's some not so good news. There is hope, but there's also still lots of work to be done. So yeah, let's get into it.
Let's dive in. Okay. Now, Rachel, I don't know whether to choose the exciting news or to go for the other news or what that needs to be done. I'm torn. But just for our audience sake, this data, we are focusing on UK statistics.
Yes.
Right. So tell us, what is the current picture? Where are women represented in UK public life right now?
Okay. So I think we need like a baseline. So when I show you all these stats, you need a baseline to work from. So I've got prop.
You always come
I'm prepared today as well. My first prop is this one. So this is the population.
Sure.
So when we're just literally counting up how many men, how many women, this is what we end up with.
All right.
So the UK population is 51% female.
Yes.
And 49% male. So this is our baseline. And one of the things that I learned through my work as an educator is about this concept of mirror representation.
That's right. For the sake of our audience, would you mind breaking that down?
So mirror representation says that if society looks like this,
that's right,
then the people that represent us should also like this. So if you are representing a community, then the people doing the representation should be of the community.
That's right.
And, you know, be able to speak from lived experience of the community. So this is our baseline. Okay. If all things are equal in an ideal world, 51% and 49% of fill in the blank leaders should be male. So that's what we're aiming for in an ideal world where everything is equitable. And let's see how we're doing, shall we?
You did say there's some good news. I'm very hopeful. Go for it.
This is the good news. So let's start with the good news. Okay, so my second prop. So this is UK politics. So if you're watching from another country, go have a look how you're doing at your national level. So UK politics. So in the last general election, 40% of our MPs were female. Or are female. Fair. This is progress. Not what we should be at.
No, not 51 yet.
But this is amazing.
Progress.
This statistic here, 50% of the cabinet. So when Prime Minister Keir Starmer appointed MPs to do the second job of being a government minister, he made sure that his cabinet was 50-50.
That's amazing. That's just 1% off.
Yeah, and that's the first time we've ever had a gender equal cabinet ever in British. Okay,
progress.
So that's 50% of the 30 most senior politicians in the UK, women. Okay. And then this one, I mean, it's not the 40, it's not the 51% that we'd like, but it's so close. Just the percentage of senior civil servant in the UK government. So these are the behind the scenes people that sit behind the politicians to help make government run.
2% off.
Just so at a national level, things going well.
That's incredible.
Just look at the stats. So this is our national political party system. This is the general election, MPs to parliament. This is appointments to permanent civil servant jobs, the behind the scenes work. So this is the good stuff, Betty.
Very good.
Are you ready for the not so good?
Go for it.
So let's go local now.
Right.
Let's go local. Okay. So
I am ready.
You sure?
What's the big local?
Okay. Local UK politics. So again, if you're watching from another country, think about your region or your province, and that's what we're talking about in the UK. So automatically the numbers don't look great, do they? I'll show you the camera. What are they actually telling us about? So this is the proportion of women in local councils. Okay. So it's only shifted by 2% over like a 4-year period. So this is indicating that change is really slow. We're not moving very fast at local level. Okay.
Wow.
And then change is slow. So this statistic here, it says that on the current rate of progress in local politics,
which is the 5%, 2% increase we're talking about.
We won't get to 50-50 gender representation until 2051.
Wow. I mean, we would have retired.
We'll both be retired, Betty. That's shocking.
I just wonder, what is the disparity? Why is it at the national level?
Yeah.
The picture looks really encouraging and positive, but at the local level, it's very different.
Okay. Jobs and money. You got that one. So this 40% here, these are MPs, members of parliament, elected and paid. So an MP is a full-time salary job.
Of course.
Right?
Yes.
And it's over £70,000 a year. So it's a pretty well-paid job. Right?
Yeah.
This is the decision of someone appointing women into positions. So if you're a cabinet minister, you're already earning an MP salary, and then you're earning a second salary as a minister.
Okay.
So this means you're very well paid.
Of course.
And it means someone's handpicked you to do that cabinet minister job. Okay. If we go over here, this statistic here, we're thinking about, again, elected politicians.
Yes.
But this is voluntary unpaid work. So if you're a local councillor in the UK, and it might be different where you are in the world, that's an unpaid job.
So that 5%, just for our listeners who might be just listening to the audio on a podcast. So it's 5%.
Yeah.
Okay.
So why is it so low? Well, because it's unpaid work, mostly evening work, mostly weekend. And if you're a full-time working woman with a day job
and doing a triple shift at home,
there is no
for
time
you to go and do a volunteer role.
Yeah.
Hold on a minute. Wow. Okay.
So when you think about kind of the disparity in the representation of women in politics, particularly at local level, it's because the elected officials are unpaid volunteers, whereas at national level, it's a full-time paid job.
It's a paid job.
So that partly explains the disparity. There are other, issues in the system, but that's for me the biggest one.
I think what it's really telling me is maybe these men are using their unicorn space, of course, go in and volunteer.
Well, and also when we talked about the statistics from the Fair Play Policy Institute, women are doing 64% of the execution of the family tasks and the household tasks.
Yes.
Which means that by virtue of the stats, men have more time available to themselves because they're doing less of the execution work.
That's right.
And then again, the stats from the Fair Play Policy Institute, women are doing 73% of the cognitive work.
Yes.
So again, thinking about the stats, men have got more brain space or cognitive space available to be thinking about local politics and local issues and campaigning and coming up with their campaign plan to get them elected in the first place. So these disparities in workload and also the disparity in kind of paid representation roles are really impacting on women.
I love what we're doing here, Rachel, by looking at statistics, but also looking at what could be the implication, what is happening at home, what is stopping women from progressing into these roles. Okay.
I've got one more.
Go for it.
Do you want to do the business one?
Oh, that'll be a treat. Okay. Surely that's a better picture.
We'll see. So,
UK business stats. Okay, go on. What does it mean?
What do they mean?
Yeah.
So we've got 15% of CEOs of small, medium enterprises. So there's small, medium-sized companies in the UK. Only 15% of their chief execs are women.
Wow.
40
in comparison to 51%
of the UK population. So there's something going on getting to senior level in small, medium enterprises. Okay, 46% of entrepreneurs in the UK are women.
So that's actually encouraging.
Yeah, it's kind of better than being a CEO of an existing company.
Yes.
Women are going and starting up businesses, but it's still not where the stats should be in an ideal world.
Of course.
So there's room for growth, but it's better than running an existing company.
That's right.
Yeah? And then the bottom one, I've got 43 and 43. The 43% represents 43% of CEOs of FTSE 100 companies.
FTSE 100, okay.
Are women.
Progress that.
Used to be a lot less than that. And then this 43%, and the number's pretty much identical, is the FTSE 350 companies.
350.
So in the business sector, kind of we're doing well at start.
Yeah.
It's getting better at CEOs of those big, the public listed companies on the stock exchange. But the small companies and the medium-sized companies
of work, but still looks better picture with these two, the 46 and the 45.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the startup is, a woman deciding to set up her own business. So
she's supposed to do it around their family.
Yeah.
Works around,
she's creating her own policies, own procedures, her own system. She's running the show.
Yes.
So that kind of helps you to understand that one.
Yeah.
And then with the listed companies, these are the really big companies that have the HR departments, the diversity, inclusion, equality policies and procedures in place to support, talented women, women of color, disabled women, gay women coming through the ranks,
So there is that support and mentorship and coaching like we talked about.
There's more of it here in the FTSE 100s and the FTSE 350 than in the small companies.
That's right.
Because they're smaller on a tighter budget.
They can afford that coaching, that mentorship. Yes.
And that would account for some of the difference, but not all the difference.
Interesting. So, Rachel, we have made progress on getting women in the pipeline, but something still is limiting progression to the very top.
I think a good piece of news in the UK is that 57% of university students are women. So we're getting more girls into higher education.
Fantastic.
Also, the stats say that girls, more than boys, complete their studies. So get to the end of their degree. So that's great.
There is that research as well, right from primary school at university, girls do better than boys.
Yeah, and that's a trend that's been going on for quite some time now, which is, again, really great news. And when we think about kind of achievement at university, we've got some other lovely stats, and I've just picked out kind of the highest level performing students. So 33% degrees awarded at a level of a first, and girls are getting,
first class.
Boys are getting 31.
31. Ooh.
So we're more of us are going to uni, and we're performing better.
So it's not a case of us thinking, we're not intelligent. That's not actually here. That's not what research is. That's right.
We're good at schooling. So this is good news. And then
that's fine. Go for it.
And then we leave education. things kind of,
Is that after that 30 years mark of life? Is that where it all starts to change?
Oh, it's even earlier than that.
Wow.
So there was a study released, I think it was last year, 2024, by Cambridge University Press. And it's when you consider that all the way through education, girls are outperforming boys.
Yes.
Within 1 year of graduating, girls are earning less than men in graduate jobs.
Wow. Why?
Within 1 year, it switches. There are lots of things at play.
Wow.
And then when you move forward in that kind of workforce or workplace progression, I have more stats for you.
What does that mean?
Okay.
Gosh, I can see.
So,
this is not looking good. Okay.
This is about in the workplace.
Workplace, yes.
For every 100 men that are promoted, only 87 women are promoted. And only 82 women of color are promoted.
Wow.
So when we get into the workplace, this is where kind of the sexism, the structural inequality kicks in. And for women of color, that duality of being a woman and being of a minority group makes it even harder. So you can see that we've gone from the pipeline of the education sector.
Strong starting, bold starting, and then the picture changes. Is there an age where this begins to show? Just wonder, is it when they start making?
So it's from like junior,
family?
it's junior management upwards. This is kind of the trend. And then when you factor in, childcare policies, flexible working, the lack of those things
makes it even harder.
And then in the same survey from the female lead, 47% of women surveyed said their job was unsustainable and that they plan to leave within 1 year.
After their maternity.
So they're back in the workplace, they're back in a few months, and they're like, this is not doable. And I need to leave, which kind of correlates with our previous episode where we talked about female teachers in their 30s.
That's right.
And that
profession. Yes.
We'd lost 9,000 women in their 30s.
In comparison to 3,400 men.
So, it's a problem.
Massive problem.
Maintaining full-time job, running a home, running the family, there is a disproportionate expectation of workload on women compared to men, and the impact on mental health, well-being. And we're talking today about, within the public sphere.
That's right.
Career development,
Yes.
getting to those senior positions, or frankly, just staying in work. It's an issue.
There's work that needs to be done. And that work starts from freeing up that cognitive load.
Yeah. So there's the stuff in the family that we've talked about. And I definitely think that the fair play method can help with that. So check out our earlier episode. Then there's some stuff in the system, like society-wide, that needs to change.
Well.
Flexible working, culture at work around, presenteeism, like harder than the hybrid working or the flexible working.
Yes.
Which particularly has helped women. But, that's being rolled back now since the pandemic. The expectation is that you're in work more. And certainly, the return to work mandate is really disproportionately affecting women by not giving them that flexibility any longer. Childcare. If you compare UK childcare systems to other countries, ours does not compare. And also stuff about the dads, frankly, like paternity leave. The UK has one of the worst paternity offers in Europe.
For 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks statutory pay.
Yes.
Stuff in the system that needs to change, as well as in our own individual family systems, to get more women to stay in work.
That's right.
And to progress in work and to thrive at work.
Without burning out.
Yeah, without the burnout.
Amazing. So, Rachel, given all these statistics, what support is out there to support women in progressing into public life?
Okay. I think into those leadership roles, I think the key thing is mentorship, but perhaps even more importantly, sponsorship.
Okay.
So within organizations, I think women access a lot of mentorship. So, the mentor is the person who's been there, done that, got the t-shirt.
That's right.
And they can say, here's my story, and here are my 3 top tips. Like my 2 mistakes I made, don't do those.
Yes.
And here's my
Saves you the longer journey, what I say.
Yeah. So mentorship, and actually women do quite well at getting themselves mentors or being supported to find mentors. So that's quite good. But the thing that we miss out on is the sponsorship. And that's having somebody more senior above you who invites you to the party. And I don't mean the literal party, although it might be.
Well, that's where the conversation might start. So it might be the literal party.
Yeah, it might be the senior that says, I'm coming to this social thing. Yeah. Come with me and I'd like to introduce you to people.
Opportunities.
Or it might be, we've got a high profile project coming up in the next 6 months. I'd like to put you forward to this. It might be, I've got a presentation to the board next week, and actually, why don't you come with me and you present this section and I can introduce you and your work. That sponsorship stuff, we get less of. And it's because of the similarity principle. Yeah. People tend to sponsor people who are like them. As humans, we like to be around people that are like us. Yes. And the biggest default of kind of likeness is gender. Yes. So less senior placed men. And because there are more men at senior level, there is therefore more sponsorship of men lower down. And the opposite is true for women. So because there are fewer women at the senior level, there's less sponsorship of lower down women by senior women, because there are fewer women going around in the workplace anyway. So if we want to make progress, if we want to get women into these senior positions and support them to get there and stay there, it's definitely about more sponsorship, as well as the mentorship and as well as the coaching. And as an executive coach myself, I think all of it's really helpful and supportive. But the research coming out of the business schools says we need more sponsorship of women.
I think that sums up, brings back to memory this phrase around, we rise on the shoulders of those who lift us. And it's about finding that person who can sponsor you.
Yeah.
And who is that person? Could it be a case of you, the woman, also think, who is in my space and who can sponsor me? And being intentional about it. Because majority of the time, we sit out quietly, don't we?
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know whether that's a respect or thinking, be courteous. I'm not sure what it is.
I definitely think there's a bit about, we're a bit more hesitant to push ourselves forward.
Yes.
And perhaps we're a little bit overly cautious or overly respectful, but who doesn't like to be told that they're awesome at their job and that you would like to, hang around and learn more, and would you sponsor me? Yeah. It's a nice thing to be invited.
That's right.
And if you don't ask,
you don't knock on those doors.
Yeah, knock on the doors.
Go and speak out.
Indeed.
Just say I'm available.
But also organizations need to take responsibility for that and understand, the similarity principle and put in systems in place to help people who are less similar to those already at the top.
Yes.
To access sponsors. So it's an individual thing that we can do for ourselves, but it's an organizational thing that we need to build in, systems and processes to enable more of that sponsorship to happen.
I think in terms of women, thinking about flexible working and women returning from maternity, having that protected characteristics means that it's protecting women a bit more. So the policy itself is moving in that right direction. I do agree with you. There's still more work that needs to be done. So Rachel, if there are women who are listening to us, I just wonder what could they do to protect their bandwidth for potential leadership opportunities?
So we were just talking about mentorship and sponsorship. Yes. And I think it's really important that you seek out a mentor, but also a sponsor who really understands your individual setup.
Yes.
And by that, I mean, does your sponsor, does your mentor understand perhaps the additional constraints that you are dealing with? So do they know that you are juggling the family and a long commute and caring for elder parents? That's a lot of women's experience now, that they're caring for elderly parents as well as the children. Does your sponsor, does your mentor understand that that's an additional load that you're carrying, so that they can be aware of it, be supportive of it, and support you with those leadership opportunities as they come up, but bearing in mind the reality of your situation?
Can I just say something, Rachel?
Yeah.
Just by listening to you now brings back a story.
Ooh.
It's a personal story. So when I was a middle leader in a school, at that time I'd had my second child, and the school needed me to return. It was at a time where it was 9 months maternity. And when I was 6 months in, there was so much disruption in this school because of the gap that was created of being on maternity. And my head teacher reached out and said, could you come back and support, even if it's 3 days? And I had a really strong support network around me, family. So it worked for me. And I said, yes, fine, I'm happy to go back.
Yeah.
One evening, I was just warming my baby's milk, come back from work, warming baby's milk. The bottle popped out and literally burned me right on the top over here. And I just could not go to work the following day. So I was thinking, I'm going to cause so much disruption when I'm going to work. So contacted my head teacher. You will not believe this. And you're absolutely right. Getting your sponsors and your mentors to understand what you might be experiencing so they can support you is crucial. My head teacher drove to my home that night, came, supported me, made sure I was absolutely fine. Do not worry about tomorrow. Don't come to work. Of course, we will sort things out until you are much better. That I will never forget. You guess what? I worked for that head teacher for many, many years until today has become one of my mentors.
Oh, wow.
Right. Okay. So I couldn't agree more.
So someone who really understood your story.
Somebody who understood my story
and your passion
has supported me.
Yeah.
And doing that
it's really
stressful moments.
Painful as well as
stressful moment. Yes.
Absolutely. So sponsors who understand what you're holding. When elder care, health issues, disability, where it might be relationship breakdown.
It might be.
People's relationships fail sometimes.
Right.
We have accidents in the home. So having a sponsor, having a mentor who really understands your situation is really important. And I think also just encouraging your workplace to sign up for some of these schemes that promote thought around how do we do things? How can we be better? So there are lots of different schemes out there. So you can encourage your employer to put in an application for the Great Place to Work Awards. They've got a special award series now for Great Places to Work for Women. Fantastic. And they have an index every year. I'm like, who doesn't like to win awards? With your company?
Recognition. You did well. Why not?
But behind that, there's a series of things that your organization will need to demonstrate and do well in order to be on a level playing field and make things fairer. So yeah.
So in short, don't try to do it all by yourself.
No.
Seek help.
That just sounds even more stressful.
Right. If you have not watched our previous episode, I'm going to encourage you to watch our previous episode. The link are in the description below. And share this episode with someone who will benefit from this conversation. Like it, and don't forget to subscribe to B3 Inspired. Rachel.
Yes.
What would be your advice for someone who is feeling inspired, motivated, wants to take on that responsibility, want to make their bold step into leadership? I mean, Women's Ed would say being 10% braver.
Yes.
Okay. But feeling constrained. What will be your advice for them this week?
I think you said don't do it alone.
That's right.
I think that's the really big one. So the more that we achieve alone, but also collectively.
That's right.
So seek out not just a mentor, but a sponsor. And find groups of women that you can ally with and organize with and provide mutual encouragement as much as mutual support. So we found each other through Women Ed, grassroots women's organisation, women in the education sector. And, it's a fantastic organisation, but in your sector,
that's right,
your discipline, where are the women? Join them and then work together. We are stronger together.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure.
I'm looking forward to exploring the next episode, and I can't wait to hear what is about to be unfolded. Thank you, Rachel, for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.